because who doesn't want big garlic? What I'm going to be working on today, I got some lavender there, not working on the lavender. Right here to the left of the lavender is my garlic patch. It's a little bit overgrown. Today I'm planting garlic. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is get this cleaned up. Everything that I know about growing garlic I learned from Louisville Grows. 2 years ago I went to one of their urban grower series. It was in early October and we learned all about garlic. It was really fun to go. I say everything's fun, but I mean it. So it's definitely something I would recommend if you get the opportunity to go. So here's what I learned about garlic that I can remember. That's the caveat. You plant your garlic in early October and you harvest it around the 4th of July. And the way you know when it's ready is that there's flowers that come out of the top when those stand straight up, and the bottom leaves have started to turn brown. That's a good indicator that it's ready to harvest. The flower method I don't use personally, because as soon as those flowers come out I cut them off, because I don't want the plant to spend its energy growing the flower. I want the plant to spend all of its energy growing the root, so that I can harvest bulbs of garlic that look really big like this instead of really little like this, because who doesn't want big garlic? The other thing that I remember from Louisville Grows is that when you plant rows of garlic, you kind of want to stagger them. So what you do is your first row you go through, and I take my hands and I just put my fingers out like this, because that's about 6 inches. And so you plant your bulb every 6 inches, or your clove actually. And then when you go to the next row you kind of stagger it, so halfway between those two you plant your next one. And if that sounds confusing, don't worry, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do it here in a second. What I'm going to do now is just break up the bulbs that I have, because you want to leave them whole until they're ready to use. Okay, so garlic, when you have your cloves ready, it is important that you plant them in a certain direction, because garlic is directional. This little bottom here, that's where the roots are going to come out, and this top piece here, this is where the plant is going to come out of the ground. So you just grab the garlic with your fingers like this. Super simple. You just go down the row, pop, 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 and you're done. Garlic is planted. So let me show you how that goes. So for your second row, you want to, so here's my first row, you want to start right in the middle and go this far over. Alright, somewhere I mathed wrong, because I said 3 rows of 7, that makes 21, and I'm going for 27, so I'll have to add some more to the end down there. So starting in my third row, you just look at your first row, you can do the same thing. Come 6 inches from this one. Three to go. I'll put them somewhere. It's a little bit unconventional. Don't do this at home. And then once you have all of your garlic in, your little cloves in. You just go, you mess up the top, you get them all covered. What is this? Danny, look at this one. So I didn't just now plant this, so this must be from last year. So I planted 27, and we're gonna have 28. The very last step is to cover the top of it with straw. So I've got this bundled up straw from last year. That's what I'm gonna be using. So I planted this early October, and it is now early November, and this is what I have going on. So the other day my husband was like, wow, the garlic looks a lot thinner this year than it did last year. Let me zoom in on these for you. And the reason why these look a lot thinner, it's because not all of these are garlic. Okay, so this is garlic, but this is some kind of seed from the straw. See? So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to go through and I'm going to find my garlics, and I'm going to measure out to see where, like this is a garlic. So I know there should be another one. Oh, here's a garlic. And then here's a garlic, but this isn't, so I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to go through and I'm going to weed this up pretty quickly. And then we've got a bonus. These lavender plants, they need to be trimmed back for the season, and they also need some fertilizer to get them through the winter. And so what I use Job's Organics all-purpose, good old fertilizer. But what's really cool, it's got this biome stuff, or biosome, which essentially just means it's got some bacteria in it that's good for soil. There's Frankie. She's my kitty in the window. Okay, so this lavender here that's behind me, I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea what I did last year. So I know I trimmed it. Danny says he remembers we trimmed it back to the woody part, but I have no idea what that means. So I don't think we did that. I think I'm supposed to trim it back to like 12 inches from the base. So that's what I'm going to do, and it might be wrong and it might ruin everything, but that's okay. That's just what I'll have to do. That's just what's going to happen. Oh, Frankie, she's a cutie. It looks so sad right there now. There was a lot of lavender. So I've got this little pile here, and I have an entire wheelbarrow full. I also have a whimpery puppy. I don't know why. So that's how you plant garlic in early October, and how you trim back your lavender, maybe. We'll see if it comes back next spring. I thought it was interesting, there were a few places where the stem was touching the ground and it took root. So I used to have 3 lavender plants, now I have about 6. That's pretty cool. Thanks for sticking with me so far. You know what to do.